So now we're actually going to start getting into the sidebar right here, which is the part that you're probably going to use the most aside from this right here. But we're going to get into this right now. So I'm just going to go do an overview of what each thing means. And then we're actually going to dive into each section in separate videos. So right now it's just an overview. So if you click on dashboard, it's going to take you back to this page right here, which is your home page for the WordPress admin section. Now you go to updates. This is where you're gonna be able to do updates to your WordPress, because WordPress releases new updates every now and then to fix bugs, to fix security issues, and also if you're using certain plugins, which we'll get into what that means in a little bit. And if you're using certain themes, they also run updates. So you want to keep track of the updates here. You always want to run your updates as soon as you see them, especially if there's security updates, because this will keep your website secure and it will make sure that no one hacks into it. But that's what updates is. Okay, so and then post. This is a blog post, and this is where you're gonna be able to manage your blog posts, add new blog posts, add categories, and add tags to them. We'll get into each one of these in a later video. And then this is where you're gonna be able. The media is where you're gonna be able to add new media. So if you want to add new media, or if you want to look at your library, you go here. And also pages. If you want to add a brand new page to your website, you could see all your pages, or you could add a new page right here. This is where you're going to manage your comments. So if people are commenting on your blog post, you're going to be able to manage that here. And then appearance. This is where you're going to manage how your WordPress looks. You're going to be able to install themes. You're going to be able to customize that theme. You're going to be able to add a widgets, and we'll get into what widgets means. It's basically a sidebar, and you could add little different components to it, but we'll get into that. And then the menu, this is the navigation menu. You're going to be able to control that here. And then the theme editor is more of an advanced feature for developers who know how to code and who know how to uh, use WordPress functions. So we're not really going to get into this one right here, because this is more of a basic tutorial on WordPress. But just so you know, you can edit the WordPress files in theme editor if you were just curious about them. There's also plugins. Plugins is basically like apps for your phone. So when you add a new app on your phone, you have a new functionality to the phone. You have a program on it. A plugin is basically a program for your website. So if you want to add some functionality to it, you could add a new plugin. And there's a lot of free plugins within the WordPress ecosystem. So we'll get into all those plugins and the most popular ones, and probably the ones that you would use the most, how to install them and how to use them. But we'll get into that later. And then if you want to have different user accounts for your WordPress, so if you want other people to log in, say you have a web designer and you want to give them access to it, you could create a brand new user here and with your own login, and you could manage that here. Or you could also have people register for your website and stuff like that. We'll get into this later. This is where you're going to manage the users on your website. And the tools right here, this is I rarely use this, but we'll get into this a little bit. I'll go ahead and make a tutorial on how this works as well. But if you could see, you could import things into your WordPress. You could export things. You see your site health. You could export personal data, erase personal data. So we'll go through each one of these in a future video. Then the settings. This is the settings of your entire website. So if you want to fix your general settings, if you want to fix every time you write something, every time you read something, your discussions, which is comments and stuff like that. If you want to, the settings for your media, the settings for your permalinks and privacy, and we'll get into what this means. So, and then right here, collapse menu, you could minimize this right here. So you want to keep things even cleaner, you could do that like that. I just keep it like this just to be able to read, because I don't really know these icons yet, and I'm just used to seeing it like this. But if you wanted it like this, you could do that. And that's pretty much it for this tutorial.